Good morning. Okay, it's only a couple days till Thanksgiving, and somewhere there's a title on this thing, and you might notice that I split the words. So we can be doing two things during this holiday season. And even if you don't want to consider it a holiday in terms of its real holly being holy and day, well, that's okay, that's fine. Um, Vacation day, it's um, call it what we will. It's a day that we get to have off, and as I mentioned yesterday, it is a time of where I talked about gratitude, thanks, and now giving. So there's two things here, two qualities actually, generosity and gratefulness. And generosity can be seen in, I don't know that the number of people who have food challenges goes up during this time. Uh, all I know is that local kitchens are helping those who are homeless eat, and then we can contribute to that. And we don't want to contribute that to, in fact, I'll take a and come around to this the other way. I follow the financial advice of a woman named Natalie Pace, and it's been quite beneficial to me. Excuse me. And one of the things that she talks about, and I started following her when she wrote the ABCs of Money, which has been some time now, which I understand is in its sixth edition, because she does update. And because I follow her, my rates of return are right now averaging about 23 to 25%, which is bad. Now, mind you, I haven't got a whole lot invested in that yet, but that's the direction I'm moving. And one of the things she starts talking about immediately is the Thrive budget. And so, okay, she was a single mom, still is to my knowledge, and has learned how to do things. And so those are the things that she teaches, because in the Thrive budget, your expenses should only be about 50% of your income, regardless of what that income is. And so I didn't do much with it until this last year. Interesting. A lot of things have happened this last year. So at the tail end of last year, 2023, I did several things, and they started to work themselves together. But in the Thrive budget, okay, 50% of your income is devoted to your bills. And then the other 50%, let's see if I remember how these break down. Well, there's long-term fund, short-term fund, charity, investments. By correctly, I'm forgetting what the other ones are. And I will check these out right here, and hopefully this will help. All right, so retirement, charity, education, the one I forget. So anytime revenue comes in, now, if you read a book called Profit First, which is more about business, but applies right here. And that is when you have all these different accounts twice a month. So, you get paid, and then you leave 50% of what you get paid in that account, that primary account. And then you have separate accounts for long-term fund, short-term, education, charity, and retirement accounts. All right. And so twice a month, I shuffle all this over, and then I can manipulate what I want to do with my retirement accounts. Charity, I just figure out just think about that in terms of local homeless groups. I have a particular place for single moms, just because I know so many of them and the challenges that they face, especially since most of them have either non-existent or real deadbeat fathers of the children. I don't care about any of the other issues that they have to deal with. If I perceive they're being responsible with their lives, Yeah, I'll put them on my list. Education. Really, education? Yeah, that is important, and I'll tell you why that's important, is because you want to continue to better yourself so that, you might think that this is 50%, how is this ever gonna get bigger? One of those ways is educating yourself. So earning certificates, just investing in better tools. I mean, there's all kinds of things that you can do to make your life better. And one of those ways is to educate yourself in the field you're in and or in the field you're going to go in or wanting to go in. That is following your dream. And then 2 fun budgets. Uh-huh. Yeah. In my business, which I am building, one of the requirements for being a member, which is also known as a franchisee, one of the things that's required in the training I use to bring people up to speed, to do what I teach people how to do to heal their trauma, is you must be having fun. You have to go out and play. And I need to know about it. So a darts team, maybe you're a billiard player, or you're going to go out and play. We have, I know, a group of, they're not quite my age. They're younger, but they're not your 20-somethings. And they're playing ultimate frisbee, I think, on Sundays. There's a pickup soccer game for older folks here on the South End. So those could be your things. And maybe it's out mountain biking on trails. We got some around here that are challenging. Just in the parks, though, they might have some incline, decline type stuff. So it'd be a good workout, though, no doubt about that. And then, partly doing it in a community type of setting where there's teams has another benefit, but that's required of me. So long-term fun, on the other hand, might be, and I'm working on this because I plan on going to another country in 2027 for some fun, never been there, and B, it'll be with Natalie Pace's group. So I'm like, yeah, I get to do a little bit of work, make a little bit of money, and that can pay for my trip while I'm over here going, oh, because I'm in someplace different that has history that the U.S. will never, well, it'll be a long time for the U.S. has that kind of history. And those are some of the things that need to be accomplished. And so when we have this Thrive budget, we can actually create ourselves a life that we want. So the charity slice, the giving of thanksgiving. And I don't concern myself around a holiday because I do it on a regular basis. It's part of my budget. There's plenty of groups here that need help, and there's plenty of people there who are doing the help, and so I support them. Plain and simple. And sometimes they want your time. I'm debating that. If I wasn't building, or if the business I'm building were more established, and when it is, I will have more time and gladly give that. But until then, you do what you can do. You do your best. Now, some days I don't feel real good, so my best might be an 80% effort, 70% effort. Some days my best is, no, thank you, man. I'm staying in bed. Bye. That's life. That's life. Isn't that cool? So when you start thinking about giving, for me, when I got into the drug and alcohol abuse counseling that I did back in the 80s at the University of Minnesota, I did that for a reason. And that reason was I wanted to, I felt like it would be best for me to be able to speak to my history. And so, what was your history? I've been homeless. I know what it feels like. So it's easy to supply that because there's it's a growing problem. There's a lack of affordable housing, and then there's just flat out a lack of housing. So however you choose to do that, to find that place, take 10% of your income, just write them a check. That's all. Write them a check. If it's easier and on the pocketbook and you personally, go down and volunteer at a soup kitchen. Okay. Around here, they all operate in hours that I'm busy, so I don't do that. Now, what are you grateful for today? I mean, I'm grateful for all the stuff that I've learned just in the last year so I can even sit here and say this kind of thing. I'm still grateful every day I get to get up and do my yoga, which that's that clipboard that's over my shoulder there that you're looking at. You know, my son created a yoga routine for me, and I follow it, and I modified it ever so slightly, but that's okay. I modified it to improve. And so I played a little bit this morning, and okay, sound like Warrior 3. I don't know if you're familiar with yoga at all, but it's good for strength. Well, I tell you, by the time I got done doing my third down dog, I think it is. Even I don't remember the names all that well. I hold them for 40 seconds. I mean, I was shaking. I could tell that my body was being pushed a little bit. And so Warrior 3 is essentially you end up standing on one leg, forming a T. Okay. Arms are supposed to be out front. They haven't got there yet. But I'm moving into that pose from another single-legged pose. So the transition is a bit, shall we say, rocky. Not quite rapids. Just, I'm going to say, a little rocky. So, and that to me is, at my age, practice, balance. Boy, that's important stuff. I do it every day, but on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, I do yoga, and that's where I incorporate my balance into these different poses. And so between my version of the tree and moving into Warrior 3, then back into the tree, lots of opportunity to learn to balance. That I can do all this. I mean, I started my physical capabilities at the age of 60, and I have spent a chunk of change getting here, and some of that was kind of hardcore, but I got myself certified as a personal trainer. I am now certified I have 3 certifications for instructor for Krav Maga. There's the Krav Maga classes I was paying for. And so, yeah, I've spent some money learning how to get here, to get strong, and then there's the whole eating thing. So anyway, all of that to say that I am grateful to be in this position. And I don't take it for granted anymore, or a lot less than I used to, because I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. And I'm always, every once in a while, I'll ask the question, where's so-and-so? Because these are people that I've been around for the last 20, 25 years here, 22 years. Oh, you didn't know that person passed on, or that person moved to California and then passed on, or, oh yeah, that was a bummer, huh? So, yeah, that's kind of my reality. And when I hear it, I can be sad, but I can be grateful at the same time, because that's just the way it is here. That's the way it is with life. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust, we shall return to. That's right. Anyway, thanks and giving. What are you grateful for today? What do you want your day to look like? And what can you do to make it look that way? And then there's giving. Sometimes that kind of giving can just be, helping somebody who is trying to carry all their grocery bags because they still, and when you get to be my age and if you have a mate, they're homebound, they're bedbound, they're wheelchair bound. So all of this is now falling on you, and you're not all that healthy. You're carrying all the grocery bags and you start to stumble because the electric door, despite the fact the electric door still has a sill there, and you caught your toe on it because you're not used to picking up your leg all that far. And so you started to stumble, you dropped your groceries, the people inside the store come out and help you. I've been in those shoes. In fact, I had an instructor who used to tell us in EMT class, he said, when that happens, you do not have the right to be grumpy because it's 2 a.m. in the morning. And when they keep reaching out for the handle because you're taking them downstairs in a chair, stair chair or some other device that's required, it's not quite smooth and solid, and they're scared. You know why? Because every time they stumble, every time something like this happens, in the back of their mind, not brain, in the back of their mind, there is always this concern that there will be, that one of these times is going to be my last time. The last time I'll ever be in my own home with my partner, regardless of whether that partner's in a wheelchair or bed, because then somebody will take that partner and put them somewhere. Maybe you'll be in the same place. Yeah, that's what's on their minds. And so you being there just to be kind and help them with their groceries, get them to their car so that they can be grateful, you can be giving. It's as small as that. Or just offering before they even leave the cash register. Because you can see that, this is going to be a challenge for that person. That's a lot of stuff. Somewhere, somehow, the reason they have all that stuff is because they are giving to somebody else. You just get to help that chain get bigger and flow and maybe improve their health for another day. That's all really, really simple stuff. Or, wow, that outfit looks great. Now, guys don't typically have outfits that look great. They think it makes them look macho or something like that. But when I see when I see somebody who put it together well, as opposed to, well, look, I can spend $400 on a pair of boots. I don't compliment on that. When a guy comes in and he's looking dapper, in fact, we've got this kid in the local store. I think his mom used to work there, but this kid always looks fabulous. He's got his little, I'm forgetting the name of him now. I'll call it a Boston cap. I think you might know it just kind of comes up over. It's got a short bill. He's almost always wearing one of those. Sometimes he's wearing a bow tie. I mean, the kid just looks dapper for a kid his age, as opposed to the parents who walk in who are wearing flip-flops and pajamas. I'll never compliment that. That A, looks lazy. B, doesn't look good, especially when they don't bother to match how they look. If I thought they took effort and did something rather unique, I would say something. When somebody makes that kind of effort, yeah, I say something. When I wear a red button down to work, you wouldn't believe how many compliments I get for that red shirt. That looks great on you. I was all, years ago, they did this thing about what colors you should wear based on your season, blah, blah, blah. And I was always told red would not be your color. Oh, contraire. So I bought a Western, and I don't know about yellow. I'm still going to try because I'm working on this other thing. Ideas. So anyway, thanks and giving. It's only a couple days away. And I hope for this week, if you're doing family and stuff like that, that you might find some places where you can exercise both thanks and giving. Have yourselves a great day. Bye.